Hello, everybody. Wow, God, how long is it since we've done a showbiz?
Weeks? What, a showbiz like this? Months? Yeah, no, months. Well, because most celebrities have been in lockdown.
And if you're new to our channel, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. We have so much other stuff going on here. We've got movie reviews, TV reviews, we've got cookery, we've got our family reality show.
Mental health,
we've
gardening.
Got mental health, we've got gardening, we've got everything. So don't miss our content. And if you've never joined our showbiz before, this is where we look a little bit behind the headlines, have a bit of a delve into things.
Yeah.
But we don't like to bitch.
No,
it's not a bitchy place.
I mean, in fact, quite the opposite. We like to have a chuckle, we like to have a laugh, we like to know what's making people kind of go, oh my God, have you seen such and such, like when Madonna sung the really odd song about pasta. But you can have a laugh and you can have a chuckle without it being mean. And there is something inherently ridiculous about the world of showbiz, isn't it?
Really is.
I mean, it's ridiculously
and the way
brilliant.
that it's reported, and when you look a little bit behind the headlines.
Yeah.
Anyway, who are we going to start with? Well, I thought maybe I would start with Rebel Wilson.
Oh, Rebel Wilson. I love Rebel Wilson.
I love Rebel Wilson.
What's she up
to? Well, she has been on a real getting healthy campaign through lockdown. She's been recording a lot of this on her Instagram, but I love it. She's not going, oh, I want to be a size 10. Oh, I've got to lose weight. She's just getting healthy. And I think a lot of people are in this vibe at the moment with COVID still raging and with the information now being very clear that if we're carrying weight, I certainly am, even if you're quite happy with the way you look, it's better for your health if you lose it.
Wow, she's lost over 40 pounds.
Yeah,
okay.
But she looks like she's having a ball, and that's the thing that I'm always banging on about. Do the exercise that you like, otherwise you won't stick to it. And she's fierce. She's doing that thing where she's rolling the tire, and she's boxing, and she's swimming, and she's climbing mountains. And yeah, I love it. What I hate is the way that they report on these things. You know, like, where is it? Somewhere here, she says, she's revealing her assets, proud of her assets in the pool. Oh, fuck off.
I think you've had that said about you.
Just F off.
Can I just ask
She's getting fit, she's feeling fabulous, she's looking strong. Why do we have to talk about her effing assets?
Can I ask a really complicated, seemingly simple question, but quite complicated too? I mean, obviously she came to fame as Fat Amy in Pitch Perfect. You have other actresses like Melissa McCarthy and what have you. Is there a pressure on actors and actresses, but more specifically actresses, who sort of create their fame is indelibly entwined with being overweight or of a certain shape? And I often notice that there's a trend, like Melissa McCarthy, the same thing's happened, that a lot of actors that become famous for their, in a sense, not just their size, but their size as a part of their star quality, they then start to try and run away from it. I can think of another example in the male side of things, like Jonah Hill, for example. You know, is this pressure? Is this a health? Is there a sort of different type of pressure? Is it difficult for an actor who's perhaps become famous due to their size to then shed the pounds?
She said, to actually directly quote her, she says, I literally feel as if I have to physically transform because it's very difficult for people to imagine me in serious roles for some reason.
Difficult.
Even though we're in a very imaginative industry. Yeah. I feel that I physically have to show you that I'm different and I'm transformed in order to help transform my career.
Wow.
Cat Star continued, I still love comedy, but I did train originally as a dramatic actress, which people forget. So obviously this is part health and part her career.
Because I'm going to make another big bold statement here. Overweightness, I hate the word fat, but overweightness and fatness often is attached to comedic performance.
Yeah.
And so there's the idea that you are allowed to be fat, and fatness is funny. And fatness is to be laughed at a bit.
Friends was so great, wasn't it? There were these brilliant actresses that were also incredibly funny.
Yeah.
She also has said that she's chosen to lose weight for herself after years of being bigger had messed with her head.
Wow.
She said, weirdly, this year was always going to be the year of health. I've been naming my years now, and that's kind of having these resolutions, but for the whole year. I always thought that I might be psychic, and I always felt this year I wasn't really going to work much.
I think it's a really important discussion. I think it's a really important, because it's that thing about bubbly and overweight and funny and overweight. Yeah. You know, Dawn French, Rebel Wilson, Melissa McCarthy, Jonah Hill. John Belushi, it's always been a thing that if you're slightly overweight, it becomes part of the comic spiel. And also I wonder whether for the actual performers, the weight that they have is another sort of way of almost in making them immune from any sort of people, the sense of people laughing at them because of their weight.
Really
it's very complicated, isn't it?
She also says it's not like I want to lose weight and get to around a certain number. Great, we love that. It's more that it's about dealing mentally with why I was overeating, and this is what I love about her saying this.
That's brilliant.
And I had a job where I was paid a lot of money to be bigger at times, which kind of can mess with your head a bit.
Wow. Okay.
So yeah. Good for her, because she is taking a risk, like you say. She's taking a risk because will she still get the parts if she's not the fat funny girl? I think she will. I think she will. She's incredibly talented, very smart, very loved.
Yeah,
so
very loved, very loved.
I think
very
I think
whip-soaringly smart.
Whip-snappingly. So I think we're just going to see another side of Rebel Wilson.
A little bit like we did with Melissa McCarthy and Can You Ever Forgive Me, or whatever the film was. Trying to prove that they are serious actors. Nick Cordero's widow, the performer, the Broadway performer.
God.
Nick Cordero's widow shares heartbreaking video of son saying "Dada" as first word, and I just thought,
tell the story of what happened.
Well, Nick Cordero is a Broadway singer, performer, star who had an incredibly highly reported battle with coronavirus. I was following it quite in detail. So many ups and downs, being released from hospital, then nosediving again. Talk of lung transplants.
Small percentage where coronavirus just attacked everything.
Absolutely.
He was out and thinking he was fine, and then he had to go back in, and then
it was just heartbreaking.
They had to amputate his
legs. He lost a leg. I mean, the blow by blow account was horrific.
We've been following it because also his wife, who just
and
just
so
broke our hearts.
And a new dad, and so I just thought we'd take a little look at this.
Where's Dada? Give him a kiss. Yay! Yeah, that's Dada. Right there. That's right. Yeah. Oh. That's okay. All right. Oh, yeah. There's Dada.
I can't even begin to imagine. And of course, that's happened for Nick Cordero. That will have happened for so many other families around the world as well. But it's just another salutary reminder that we are coming out of such an odd thing that has taken so many lives so unexpectedly. Do you want to cheer us up a bit more with maybe something that's going to break a lot of women's hearts?
Yeah, I'm afraid I've got bad news, guys, for Tom Holland fans, as he goes official with a new girlfriend. Well, it's kind of official and it's kind of not. What he's done is he's posted this picture of himself and Nadia Parks on his Instagram. Stunning girl, and she's stood holding, as you can see there, the handlebars of a bicycle. Moody sky.
Wow, it's an amazing
full clouds
sky
behind her. Isn't she gorgeous?
Well, hang on a minute. She might be gorgeous, but that skyline is phenomenal.
Incredible.
Phenomenal. It's like
do you fancy the skyline more than
it's like it's from a Marvel film, isn't it?
So he didn't post any caption or even tag her. So,
right.
But we're running with this now.
Because she looks like an angel. She looks like an angel.
We're running with this, that they're a couple, and apparently the newspapers have been told by a friend, who knows if it's true.
So he didn't say my GF
no.
in front of a sunrise.
No.
Right.
And apparently they locked down together and now they're living together in London. But who knows the truth behind that? But it seems to be that the fans have taken this as meaning.
There's going to be a lot of broken hearts.
A
lot of broken hearts.
I mean, people are crazy about Tom Holland.
I know. Well,
Some of the girls' friends cry over Tom Holland.
They'll be crying now.
I didn't get it myself.
A couple of sad news stories that have broken today. We've talked about them in our coffee moaning, but the tragic story of the boss of BooHoo, whose son, 20, was found dead after failing to get up for work. Was found unresponsive and not breathing at his home in Sevenoaks. And his dad is John Little, who runs the BooHoo, obviously the online clothes company.
Does he own it?
He's managing director. No, he's
right.
not. He's not one of the. I think he has a major shareholding in the company. He was a digital marketer. I think he worked for BooHoo himself. Educated at the King's School, Canterbury, which I know very well because when I was at Canterbury, it's sort of very, very posh school. But it's just another. The cause of death was given as morphine toxicity.
Oh no.
So it looks sadly like it may well have been an overdose of some form, whether
or
intentional,
suicide, we won't know,
whether
will we?
intentional or not, we don't
Oh,
know.
is that his dad?
That's his dad.
Oh my God.
Tragic, John Little.
Oh my God.
Who was a good chap. I mean, I know BooHoo have been caught in that, in the crosshatches of some negative press recently, but John Little's he's the guy at the top of it. He's a good chap. Really sad. And alongside that, sadly, another news story is Denise Johnson, who was a singer with Primal Scream. She didn't just sing with Primal Scream, she also sang with Johnny Marr's, ex-Smith guitarist Electronic. I know their songs were so good, New Order, what have you. Born and raised in Manchester. She was in do you remember the American soul band Maze? She began a career with them. Yeah. Don't Fight It, Feel It. The vocals on that, such a brilliant song. No exact details about the cause of her death, but a lot of people in the music industry, a lot of people in the music, and real musos really kind of feeling that, because she was, she was one of those singers, you get them, who moved between some of the biggest and best bands of the time, and quite a contrast to her.
Is she somebody that may have, if her luck had taken a different path, would have been a star in her own right?
Yeah, exactly. And I think in many regards, it's more telling that people like Bernard Sumner of New Order, all of the major sort of influences of a musical scene of the 80s and 90s will absolutely know her. And you're right, she was sort of, in a sense, was always a support cast member of that scene. So, that's a big loss. That's a big loss. It's a voice that was that accompanied a generation.
And so young.
Yeah, so
and it says here if she was 53, when I read earlier it said 56, so we don't know.
Yeah.
Well, should we go to something a bit silly? Let's have a bit of something a bit. Let's go to Gemma Collins.
Oh, okay. Gemma Collins is always fun.
So apparently, and we haven't watched this video yet because we thought we'd watch it with you.
Yeah.
Apparently, Gemma Collins has an incredible voice. Now, she did get a recording contract just before lockdown. And apparently, so the Sun online say to us, she has an incredible voice. This is a film of her at her home doing a Marilyn Monroe style happy birthday to a friend of hers. So
we check it out?
Yeah, let's check it out.
Okay, let's check it out.
To you, happy birthday to you.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Jason.
I feel like you're going to give me a strict
Happy birthday to you.
Was that it?
It wasn't too bad.
It wasn't bad. Should we have another listen?
Yeah.
To you, happy birthday to you.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Jason.
I feel like you're going to give me a strict
Happy birthday to you.
And she's alright.
she can sing.
She can sing.
We'll give you that, James.
I'll give you that. I was expecting to laugh uproariously at how awful she was, but that was good.
It was all right, wasn't it? Well, good for you, Gemma.
That was good. That was
God,
good.
Gemma and her tales. Whatever's going to happen next with Gemma. Oh God, she does keep us entertained. That's for sure, doesn't she?
Well, she
I mean,
has-
whenever she comes on Loose Women, we rate so brilliantly. People love her.
Does she have zero self-doubt?
Yeah,
I mean, absolutely zero self-doubt.
yeah.
God, I wish I could be like
Yeah.
that. I really wish I could be like that.
Her eyes are so incredible.
I
mean, incredible.
I-
Like two sapphires.
Are they? I saw a photo of her when she was much younger, and I was staggered. Go on then, so you've got another bit of frippery.
Another bit of frippery, just because I know from previous showbiz newses that we've done, you love it when we have a bit of a look round. Ludicrously overpriced properties. And this week, it's Wayne and Colleen Rooney's, wait for it, just wait for it, £250,000 a week Barbados mansion.
I just don't understand how you can
Do you think it
justify
can be
that.
true, Mark?
I just don't even know. Even if you're earning that amount a
Could
week,
you
why
charge
would you?
$250,000?
Well, not only could you charge, but why would you actively spend it? I mean,
Well,
I'm
I
such a
suppose
saver.
what they thought they were getting, except here we are talking about it, was complete privacy. And they haven't got photos of them on it. So it's a £5 million villa,
It's called-
nestled amid palm trees, boasts ocean views, sleeps 14, and has an infinity pool complete with a link bridge. 750 acres and has 225 privately owned villas and cottages.
Come on, you could buy.
Clubhouse, restaurant, spa, private beach and golf
You could
course.
buy a house for the price of a week's rental.
Yeah, exactly. Look
What?
at it. Look at it.
Sorry, I find that offensive.
I don't love to be
No,
like that.
what? Well, but how?
No, obviously,
No,
if
no,
we're
no, no,
looking
no.
at the
But wouldn't you
wider
get
world-
into that pool and worry about how much it was costing you?
They're so rich, Mark. They just don't think
Is
about
anyone
these
rich
things.
enough to spend $250,000 a week?
You know what I always think when I see all of this? I think about her, and I think about her with these 4 boys, and I think about the amount of times he's cheated on her.
Well, I do feel
And I
for her.
think, you know, people might look at it and go, oh, wow, what an amazing life. They've still got all the same, you know.
No,
stuff.
absolutely. I mean, yeah. Look, you can't get away from it. It's beautiful.
Oh, my God.
But-
oh, look at it. Look at it. Look at that pink sky.
Sorry, $250,000. Just look at the photos. Just make do with the photos.
All right.
See,
Would have liked to
no.
walk
See,
around.
I mean,
It's
has
the
it got
golf
its
course.
entire golf course?
No, I think they share. I think what it is, there's other cottages and stuff.
I mean, okay.
It's obviously just for people that need total privacy.
Is
isn't
it about that, or is is there a competition when you get to a certain level of wealth that it's about saying to other people, because you know he's a competitor, he's a sportsman, he's very macho.
I'm sure there must
we
be a
know
bit
from
of-
his lifestyle that it's all about the crack and all that kind of stuff. You know, is this about I can afford it?
I don't know. I just thought we'd have a look around a big flash house.
God,
We don't have to get deep.
I wouldn't even necessarily want to go there. I wouldn't want to do it.
Darling, you can stay here and look after the door.
Yeah, I know, but
He doesn't want to go.
I don't. I actually. Okay, I'm going to say it. I don't. It looks cold. It looks impersonal. It looks so big that it'll lack atmosphere. It would be. It's
I
just.
don't know. I wouldn't mind a day by the pool, drinking rosé and then
Well, yeah,
a
maybe
barbecue
go.
on the
Be
terrace.
invited to a party there. That would be something. But
To be honest, though, we go to Cornwall a lot. Sometimes we stay in bigger places. Sometimes we stay in tiny cottages.
Yeah.
Sometimes we go camping. Sometimes we go caravanning. And every single thing I love. So I'm quite lucky. I like it. I can go from the most luxurious to the most deadly and still love it.
True. You do make the most of any situation. Elaine Maxwell. We haven't talked about it for a while.
Do you know
Obviously,
what?
she's
I don't
a.
know anything about what's gone on recently.
Well,
Is
not a
there
great
any-
deal has gone
Oh.
on, but she is awaiting trial. But there was an interesting little moment earlier this week where Donald Trump's ex-aide, who I had a bit of time for, not because I necessarily agreed with him, but he was a firebrand of a character, Scaramucci. What a brilliant
Yes,
name.
yeah.
Do you remember him?
Yeah.
And he was fired again unceremoniously by President Trump, like he seems to. He sort of hires people for 2 weeks, as you said the other day, takes the best from them and then chucks them away. But, Donald Trump posted that little tweet, didn't he, saying, I just wish her well, or,
Yes,
something
he
along the
did.
lines of, I hope it runs well for her, or whatever. Well, Trump's former communications chief, Scaramucci, has accused Donald Trump of covertly imploring Maxwell not to reveal what she knows about him by sending the tweet. He believes that within it, there's a coded message
Because he
to
could get her a
Ghislaine.
pardon like he did his other friend.
There may be a sort of little bit of...
Shut the front door. Please don't say this is true.
If you don't spill the beans... I don't think necessarily it's about her not spilling the beans. I think he might be saying, just spill the beans on all the right people.
No, that's not strictly showbiz, but that is fascinating.
It's not showbiz, but it...
But oh my
yeah.
God, I think of the victims and I think, imagine you're one of the victims and you hear that. Because they'd already seen Epstein get away. I mean, obviously, in the end, Epstein died, but he had that ludicrous sentence. And imagine the fear that there might be some way she's going to get off with this.
And this Scaramucci chap has also several times tweeted in support of the Epstein-related conspiracy theory, specifically the idea that the billionaire paedophile was murdered in prison. So, again, so Scaramucci tweeted, she has the goods on him, he is signalling, please don't talk. I mean, that's a massive thing to say.
I mean,
on
at
social
the time,
media.
when he did say it, I did think, why would you say that?
It's curious, isn't it? And he timed it at the point where she's probably compiling her plea deal or negotiating what information and what have you. So I think the Ghislaine Maxwell, although scheduled for July 2021, it's delayed almost as long as the new Star Wars film, is going to promise some Star Wars of a completely different star-like quality.
So, this is a very serious story and one that we had quite a discussion about whether we should even talk about it because we are not coming from the angle of juicy showbiz story. We had a lot of fun over the months with our showbiz stories and the Kardashian stories Because I've got a fond heart for the Kardashians, and I find a lot of what they do very entertaining. However, what has been going on with Kanye and Kim in the last few weeks, well, actually, let's face it, the last year he's been really unwell, hasn't he?
Well, I mean, we've talked a little bit about his announcement for presidency, candidature and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
And before that, you know, when I think last year when he went into a facility for a short time, and then he's been very open about having bipolar, and both of us, we talk a lot about mental health on this channel, and we are real advocates for talking more openly about it. I mean, we're part of the campaign on Loose Women for, getting more men to talk about their mental health, and I have found this very, very upsetting. This story, because all I see when everyone else is laughing about it and wondering whether he's done it to promote his album, or whether the Kardashians are promoting their new makeup range, all of that is fucking bollocks, to be quite honest. This is a man in a mental health crisis. And we'd been away on holiday and hadn't actually seen the film of him, and it made me cry when I saw it, because I just saw a man in just terrible in the grip of a mental health crisis, first of all, who has said things that we're not going to repeat here about his family and about his extended family, who, when he's not in a bipolar crisis, you see how much he loves them. And so, first of all, I feel so desperately sorry for him as he comes out of this episode, and he realises what he said, the terrible impact that's going to have on him. But also for Kim, who, yes, is a multimillionaire, yes, lives in beautiful homes all over the world, but he's also a wife of a man who's in a terrible mental health crisis, and the mother of 4 children who are also going to feel the impact of his current mental health crisis. So he has
apologised to her.
He's apologised, and he's been in Wyoming, and today the photographs have come out of her in tears with them talking, with all sorts of suppositions of what this conversation may be. I don't actually think we should show those photos, because it's just a couple in crisis who've been caught on camera, and she's looked absolutely
Well, I have seen the photos, and actually,
devastated.
I mean, you know, you do. I mean, I'd have thought they're so hypersensitive to press intrusion and what have you. I was surprised to see that anyone had got those photos, and then I was thought back over times in our life when we've had an argument when we're driving and stuff. And the nature of these things are that, you know, these things just emerge, don't they? They can erupt. They could erupt at a set of traffic lights.
Yeah,
you might be having, and it looks very much like it's just something that, with all the best intentions, whatever.
And so people will start saying now, oh, why were they in a car? Why were they? Because they don't understand a marriage where there's we've had it. Mark's had his mental health crisis, and all sorts of things have happened out in the street that people could have
easily
said, and I've been raging, it could easily be photographed. So I would call, and the reason we're doing this, and we're not going to show these pictures, any of these pictures, is because we would like to say, let's just have a bit of understanding for a couple that are in a most terrible situation.
And I think I'll say again, I don't know where I said it, somewhere, do take the time, if you're struggling or know anyone that's struggling with bipolar or any other specific mental health condition, take time to read Kim's message about his mental health crisis. Now, this isn't to say that necessarily their relationship might be hitting a very, very, very difficult point. It might be over, it might not be over, whatever the speculation on that is, and whatever they decide to do, they have to make the right decision for themselves. But her incredibly compassionate, I thought, description
we post it here?
of what had happened and what was going on for him, and a message of sort of, you know, guarded support for him, and explaining the nature of mental health crisis, and doing a double-edged job of trying to look after him whilst at the same time identifying that he'd gone too far. Very difficult situation for the wife or partner or husband of someone struggling with a mental health crisis.
And then just one quote from that beautifully emotionally articulate post that she posted. She said, "Those that understand mental illness or even compulsive behaviour know that the family is powerless unless the member is a minor," and that suggests to us that he's not getting the help and the medication that he needs. Awful for him, but awful for her as well. So we would just say, maybe we can post actually right here so people can read it straight away. I don't know, but if we can't, look for it on Twitter, because I think that's the way we should all be feeling and thinking about this showbiz story.
Yeah, I agree. And sadly, his declaration of wanting to run for president, everything about what he's doing is easily caricatured in the public eye. And like that breakdown he had on that TMZ set. You know, it's very easy for news stations to run at this.
Yeah.
The man is in a crisis, and they're in a very difficult situation. And I do think that sort of the snideness, just because she's wealthy, they're wealthy. You know, I think a lot of people gain some sick and sad satisfaction from seeing people unhappy. Yeah.
She's absolutely tortured. Look at it. I mean, it just absolutely breaks my heart. Anyway.
So there you go.
You know what? The whole world would be such a better place if we could all just be a bit kinder.
Absolutely. So there you go. There's our first showbiz in a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of sad stories in it.
Actually, a lot of very thought-provoking stories in there.
Yeah.
So, and I knew everyone, I think, that we talked about. Yeah, it's quite something.
So if you're new to our channel, please hit the subscribe and the notification bell so that you don't miss all the other fabulous content that we put on here.
Absolutely.
Love you. Miss
See you later, guys.
Bye.